guided Creighton men's soccer to 4 NCAA tournament appearances from 1999 through 2002, including trips to the College Cup in 2000 and 2002. His triple overtime goal versus Indiana in 2000 sent CU to its first national championship match. As Creighton's first two-time All-College Cup team honoree, the Missouri native claimed a spot on the NSCAA All-American First Team in 2002 and the NSCAA All-Region team twice. Tranchilla was also a two-time finalist for the MAC Herman Trophy Award in 2001 and 2002 and finished 4th overall in the voting after his senior year. He graduated holding Missouri Valley Conference career records for points, goals, and in 2007 was named to the Valley's All-Centennial team. His school records in career NCAA tournament points and goals, and ranked second on the program's career list for points and goals. Upon graduation, Dallas Byrne made Tranchilla the 34th overall pick in the 2003 MLS Super Draft. And now, to induct Mike into the Creighton Athletic Hall of Fame, please welcome his former assistant, former Blue Jay assistant, and the current head coach and technical director of Union Omaha, Jay Mims.
Thank you, guys.
Can you stand up?
Never heard that one. Johnny asked me to come speak, and Johnny, you forgot, you didn't mention that I'd be after Kirsten. Kirsten, I heard that number of 3 now, Kelly, congratulations, of volleyball players that are in the Hall of Fame, and I was already here when Kirsten got hired, and I saw what the volleyball program was, and Kirsten, incredible the job you've done. There's going to be much more than 3 over the next several years, so congratulations, Kirsten. You know, it's great to see Mike's family's here, and a bunch of friends, a bunch of guys I used to coach. It's incredible. I know everybody, we don't have time sometimes to catch up with everyone here, and so it's amazing when you have a gathering like this to have people here that you haven't seen. So I appreciate seeing all of Mike's former teammates here and supporting him and his family. Those that know Mike, he's a numbers guy. He loves numbers. And so I thought it'd be fitting to go over some numbers. You heard some of the great numbers that John gave about his Creighton statistics. I'll start with 5,000. All right? And I think I'm selling you short here, Mike, but probably how many goals Mike has scored in his lifetime. And our sport, I think it's the most difficult sport to play in the world. You can't use your hands. And the hardest thing to do in our sport is to score goals. And Mike has done it at every single level. From his days playing St. Pius High School in St. Louis, he scored a lot of goals. From his days at the Bush Soccer Club, Mike was always the leading scorer. Summer league teams, guys that played with them, who was the leading goal scorer? Mike. Men's league, if you happen to catch Mike in a men's league game even 4 years ago, wearing white, as trademark white high-top tennis shoes and basketball shorts, Mike was the leading goal scorer. And so it's amazing, all the goals Mike has scored. So Mike, congrats on keep on scoring goals. Next number, 15. All right, 15. I give you that number. It's about how many seconds it takes Mike to juggle a soccer ball 100 times. That's right, 100 times Mike can juggle a soccer ball in 15 seconds. And I give you that number to show you how skillful Mike is. In our sport, like a lot of different sports, you can score in different ways. I'd say some forwards score because they're big and they're strong. Some forwards score because they're really fast. Some score because they're really good at special plays, set pieces, things like that. But Mike always scored because he was the most skillful player on the field every single game. We actually had plays I would have to come up with as an assistant for Mike on the kickoff to see if he can score a goal. And for those of you who don't know soccer, the kickoff is in our half, And so yes, Mike has to dribble by all 11 opponents to score a goal. And we would spend time training Mike dribbling past 11 guys to score goals because it actually happens. And so I give you that to show a little bit of Mike's skill level. I know his teammates know that, but for those of you in the audience, incredible. 18 is the next number I want to give you. 18 is the average number of throw-ins for a team in a soccer match. And the reason that number is significant is, I'll tell you a little bit of background about Mike here. I think his teammates will appreciate this. Mike is super talented at a lot of things. Mike loved playing video games. He was really, really good at it. Mike loved singing Michael Jackson songs. He's amazing at it. Mike liked to drink an occasional beer. From what I hear, was pretty good at it. Mike did probably 100 push-ups, pull-ups a day. Was super strong. So Mike liked a lot of things outside of soccer. One of them he really didn't like was running and fitness. And so I think I speak for the coaches out here. It's sometimes difficult if your best player on your team is a guy that maybe not the most fit player, the person that maybe doesn't run a ton. That's very challenging. And so we had to have a compromise with Mike. But of course, he's on the field. Everybody wanted him on the field. If we would have took him off the field, his teammates would have killed us. So he was such a nice guy. It wasn't like people were jealous. They wanted Mike on the field. So throw-ins was the way we got Mike fit. So the compromise was every throw-in that we had on the field, Mike would have to come back as a forward, jog back, sometimes 80 yards, the length of almost the whole field, come get the throw-in, give it to Mike. Mike would do his trademark, hold the ball, dip his shoulder, pass it back to a center back, and jog back up the field 80 yards. And then I see some teammates here, not naming any names, the ball go out of bounds again, hold the ball, Mike. Mike would jog back 80 yards, hold the ball, give it to the guys, jog up the field. And I think we had statistics on it. It was about 1.7 miles extra Mike would cover in a game because of that. And so that was our compromise to get Mike fit throughout the year. So Mike, thank you for believing and holding the ball for us on throw-ins. And I'll leave you with this last number, 20. All right, 20 is about how long ago Mike graduated Creighton, but it's a special number too because I believe that's probably about the number that Mike was ahead of his time in a lot of things. All right, being involved in soccer now for a long time, if we had the scouting system that we had in U.S. soccer 20 years ago, and if we had the academy and the youth systems that we had, Mike wouldn't have been at Creighton. Players like Mike, it took U.S. soccer a long time to figure out to value someone that can score goals. Everybody's looking for someone that can score goals because nobody can do it, even at the highest levels in the world. And I feel like Mike wouldn't have been at Creighton if Mike grew up right now because he would have got found out and got signed as a professional and he was 16, 17 years old and would never have been at Creighton. So Mike, we feel honored and lucky to have you. And I think I speak on behalf of all your former teammates here, coaches, opposing coaches, everybody for a well-deserved amongst a rich history of Creighton soccer players. I think you're one of the very best, and we welcome you to the Creighton Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much. I remember those throw-ins. I hated them. I was like, why couldn't you just throw to somebody else? I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what I was going to talk about today. I don't really think about soccer too much these days anymore. And I thought maybe I could talk about some funny stories from college. And it was fun reliving those memories, but it didn't seem appropriate today. I thought about talking about my recruiting trip, but there wasn't much of a story. I came in late, I was late in the recruiting process, and I came in and the guys had a game the next day, so no one was really partying. And I just hung out in Keith Sarinsky's room, and I think Lane Piercy was there, and nobody could drink, so we just sat around talking and watching TV. But Brian Hill came down, one of my good friends now. He had a chemistry exam, but he heard that there was a recruit in town, and nobody was really having any fun with him. And so he brings his chemistry paperwork into the room and starts drinking beers with me, and he has a test the next day. And we got to bed early, and they went and they had their game, and I went home. It sounds like a really boring trip, but I told my dad, like, this guy drinks while he studies. But I also thought maybe I could just bring up some of my goals, favorite memories of soccer. And eventually I decided it might be interesting for you all to hear about my relationship with soccer over the years. I've played almost every day for 20 years, and soccer was really good to me. And every day, even if it was just juggling in the basement. I remember when I was a kid, my coach made a bet with the team, all the players on the team, to see if anyone could juggle the ball 25 times. It's funny that Jay brought that juggling story. And I couldn't, no one could. I think my high was at like 5 at that point. But I went home that day and I practiced all day, every day, until the following week when I saw the coach again. And I got that 25. I was the only player on the team that got 25, and I won that bet. And now that number is somewhere around 1,000, I think. But like, once you get to 1,000, you don't really then be like, well, let's see if I can get to 2,000 now, right? I wanted to be clear why my record's not 10,000. I don't want to do that for 4 hours. but anyway, I kept practicing and getting better, and I got a scholarship, and I got drafted, and it was a beautiful relationship that I had with soccer, and I loved it. And when I was done playing, it just seemed like it all came crashing down. And it didn't seem fair. I'm all of a sudden just not playing anymore, and I just have this sour taste in my mouth. And I'm seeing a lot of friends that I played with all my life are still in the MLS, making decent money, and I'm just at home now. Do I just play recreational soccer now? That's how this works. And so I had this bad taste in my mouth, and I decided it'd be easier if I just didn't think about it or talk about it or watch any games. And it wasn't until I started writing this speech that I started thinking about all the joys in my life from soccer. And I met my wife from a Creighton buddy. Thank you, Vince. And I feel like almost every friend I have, I played soccer with them, or they're friends with someone I played soccer with. I moved up to Omaha because of all the great experiences I had at Creighton, and I wanted to be around those friends again. And my parents are even moving now, and I'm playing soccer again in over 40 league, and I love it. And I'm scoring goals, and it reminds me of all the fun I had back then. I just want to say to soccer, it's been a long time, and I'm sorry it took this long, but thank you. Thank you for everything that you've given me. You changed my life. And I want to say a few thank yous. There's so many people that have helped me in my career, but I don't want to be up here much longer, so here's just a few. Brett Simon, thank you for taking a chance on me. I wasn't recruited much. A lot of coaches didn't think my style could work at the college level, and he took a chance on me, and he gave me the opportunity to try and prove some of those coaches wrong, and I thank him for that. And Jason Mims, going through a coaching change in college was difficult, and nobody wants to do that, but you made that transition so smooth for me. And thank you for pushing me so hard. Angie, my wife, we didn't meet until 10 years later, but you love hearing my soccer stories, and I love telling you my soccer stories. Thank you for always listening. Mom, you've always believed in me. She believes in me so much. I think she thinks I could still play professional soccer. I love you. Thank you. My dad, Mark, thank you. Well, for starters, thank you for recognizing at a young age that I was not good at baseball. I think when I was around 13, I played baseball and soccer, and it was just taking up too much time. And my dad was like, I think you need to make a choice. Do you want to be great at one or average at two? And at this time, I think I had 4 career home runs and probably like 700 goals. So it was an easy decision. Yeah, you know, I've won. Oh, one more thing, Dad. I absolutely would not be standing here without you. Thank you. I've won a number of awards over the years. This is my absolute new favorite award. Thank you so much. Go Jays.
Those of you who know baseball know it's a game of signs.